Welcome everyone to the Queen of TV channel. Before we get into our intro, let's say some quick things first. Please watch the video to the very end and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Second, there will be cursing and profanity. If that's not your cup of tea, this channel is not for you. And lastly, I will be giving my honest opinion about the episode and the show as a whole. So without further ado, let's get into our intro. Welcome. I'm your host, the Queen herself, and you are the Prince and Princesses. You're either a viewer or you are a subscriber. Either way, welcome. Today we're talking about H2O Season 2, Episode 17, Moonstruck. We saw this episode with Cleo and Rikki at Mako Island while Rikki's trying to help Cleo relax. Cleo cannot. She is stressing about the upcoming full moon. I've decided to change my mind. I am going to make a full moon episode because I think it helps with the timeline. So we had a full moon back in episode 13, and now we have one in episode 17. So that tells us it has been a month. It's been a full month between episode 13 and 17. But back to the episode. While that's going on, Emma is getting off of her work day because it's time for her to clock out, and Ash wants her to stick around longer so he can ask her out on a date. But she declines him because, of course, tonight's the full moon and they have better things to do. Rikki and Cleo think that Emma's making a mistake and think that she should take Ash on her offer and maybe even tell him that she's a mermaid, considering Lewis knows and Zane knows. So it would be fair that Emma would have a boyfriend who would also know her secret, even though Cleo and Lewis are broken up, but still. Emma declines and she's not ready to not only fully tell Ash that she's a mermaid, but that she's into him. So they decide to help Ash out themselves. They tell him to be bold, to show Emma that he's serious, because sometimes Emma doesn't know what she wants. Well, Emma's ready to leave and she doesn't suspect a thing. They keep it a secret and they leave. They get to Emma's house where they've already boarded everything up, made sure everything was sealed. They've got popcorn and DVDs. We see that Lewis shows up late, asking if he could help, but like I've said previously before in another episode review, that since Lewis has gotten involved with Charlotte, or since Charlotte's joined the show, he's been deviating from the group after the breakup. So he hasn't really been consistent with them. So they actually have gotten to the point where they know how to board up the houses without him. To the point where they didn't need him to help them prepare for the full moon, which is wild. So that means for the entire month, Lewis has not been consistent. Even probably before that. But that would mean that what Cleo said in episode 14, where Lewis spends all his time with Charlotte, that means that Lewis really has not been a part of the group. So the group is now, at this point, I can say, went from being 4 members to just starting to become the trio, because Lewis is not a consistent person at this moment. But Cleo, Emma, and Rikki let him know that no, he doesn't actually need the help. They don't need his help. Rikki lets him know that they've got everything down pat these days, and that he has better things to worry about nowadays, which is Charlotte. Lewis isn't really hurt about it or disappointed. He's like, okay. So he respects their decision, learning everything that he learned in episode 13. So he's giving them the trust. He leaves, and the girls make sure that they double check everything. And we hear from Emma that it is about midnight. It's about what? Um, yeah, we're gonna talk about that in review. So while they're doing that, because Emma and Rikki go upstairs to double check everything while Cleo is working on the lights, Ash sneaks into Emma's house. Like, he walks through the door. He don't knock. He just comes right in. The door is completely unlocked. Australia and Japan are built different. Because, not here in America. Do not leave your door unlocked. He walks in and prepares for their date. And he runs into Cleo, who he gives a silver platter to, and she ends up seeing the full moon. When Ash comes back in, he asks if Cleo's alright. She says that everything is completely fine. Cleo goes upstairs where Emma and Rikki is, and she's acting all Lulu Lop Lop Lucy, okay? She's in La La Land. And at first they don't notice, but they talk about how they got everything they need, so they leave to go get some food. But Rikki comes back immediately once she realizes that Cleo's been all giggly, and she realizes immediately that she's seen the full moon. She's disappointed in Cleo that she has done that, and she stays up there with her to make sure that Cleo doesn't do anything. While Emma, who just went downstairs, run into Ash, who she tries to get to leave, but he doesn't leave and says that he just got here and he's decided to be bold. Well, while he's preparing their dinner and everything, Rikki comes downstairs to come get Emma so she can find out what happened with Cleo. She gives Ash an excuse, and once she goes upstairs and sees that Cleo's seen the full moon, she realizes it's because Ash had walked through the door, and that's how it happened. She also said that he wanted to do something bold after Rikki asked her why he was there. And then she sees that Rikki and Cleo give each other a look. That's when she realizes they both suggested him to be bold and gave him some advice. And he took that advice to heart. Because he showed up at the wrong time. So Rikki is tasked with watching Cleo while Emma is going to have this date with Ash as fast as possible. But not even 5 minutes after Emma leaves, Cleo rips one of the cardboards off of Emma's window in her bedroom and reveals the moonlight to Rikki, and now she's moonstruck. While Emma is still downstairs with Ash, the girls run her a bath water. That way she can not only tell Ash that she loves him, but so she can also tell him she's a mermaid. Because this full moon is tired of the bullshit. It's ready for secrets to come out. They get downstairs to try to lure her to the bathroom. That's when she sees that both Rikki and Cleo are moonstruck, and she is disappointed that Rikki was so careless with Cleo. She tries to keep Ash distracted. At the same time, the girls decide that they're going to help Emma out. Rikki uses her powers to boil the ice in the jug, while Cleo also uses her powers to control the water with hydrokinesis to try to douse Emma with it. Emma freezes it in the nick of time and pretends that she knocked over all the ice and leaves Ash to tell them to clean it up while she chases after the two of them to the bathroom. On her way to the bathroom, she calls up Lewis and tells him that he needs to come back. Lewis, on the other end of the phone, though we don't hear it, but we can guess it by her response to him, that he said to her, "I thought you guys didn't need me." She said, "No, we were wrong." Now, we will also talk about that in the review. She gets to the bathroom where she lectures the two of them on their carelessness during this full moon, because let's be fair, if they had not made that suggestion to Ash, this would have never happened. Ash also should have read the room and accepted the fact that maybe that day was not the day. That he could have possibly done this a different day. Maybe wake her up with a morning breakfast the next day. That's also romantic. Brunch at homes. Come on now. At home, a nice brunch. Because some fucking place you go to eat brunch, that shit by damn near your fucking rent. So, or worse than that, some groceries. You can buy more food than just what you got on the plate of the dish that they serve to you. Hell. Either way, She gets up there. She's lecturing them. She realizes too late that they are cornering her and calling her to back up, and they just push her into the bathtub. She turns to a mermaid. Ash hears it and he goes upstairs. They open up one of the blinds and bam, Emma is moonstruck as well. Ash is upstairs and he is confronted by Rikki and Cleo, who tells him that Emma has something to tell him. So Emma calls Ash's name and asks him to come in. She wants something to show him. And before he can go in, thank the Lord, Lewis shows up in just the nick of time and is questioning Ash about what he was about to do, considering that Emma could have possibly been naked in there. And that's not really nice to do. I mean, you ain't even talked to her father yet, bruh. So, Lewis is able to convince Ash to leave. Once he leaves, he says that I am so glad you guys are doing just fine without me, after Cleo says that they want to go for a swim. How he was able to keep them in the house, I will never know. Because when they woke up the next morning, he wasn't there. So at some point they fell asleep and he went home. Because he didn't stay the night. But when they wake up, they don't remember a thing. They only remember bits and pieces. Cleo remembers everything up to the point when when Ash showed up. Rikki remembers that Cleo was moonstruck and acting all crazy, and then after that, she don't remember anything. And then Emma remembers them both being moonstruck, and then she realized that Ash was also there for a date. She goes to the Juice Net Cafe later on in the day, and Ash talks to Lewis, saying that he would have never done anything to be disrespectful to Emma, and Lewis says that he understands. This is when Emma walks in and she finally confesses her feelings to Ash and they kiss, making it official, even though they have been dating since episode 14. So it took them 3 damn episodes, which pisses me off. And now that we're done, we can get to that in my review. Okay, so I'm sorry. And I didn't like one of these relationships, but they literally made Rikki and Zane official in the the 20th or the 21st episode of season 1. Emma and Byron got together in episode 11 and then broke up. And they still was trying to have them a little bit will they won't they by episode 24, but he left, so that was out of the question. Emma met Ash in episode 9. We don't see him again till like episode 14. So that's like 5 episodes later. And you're telling me once they start dating episode 14, they officially become a fucking couple by episode 17? That's 8 episodes. From episode 9 to 17, that's 8 episodes. That's how long it took them to get together. But we don't see Cleo and Lewis get together until episode 24 of season 1. While Emma in season 2 gets 8 episodes and she with this guy and she officially becomes his girlfriend in 8 episodes. Less than what Cleo had with Lewis. Rikki gets with Zane officially by the 21st episode, which is literally like 3 episodes less than Lewis and Cleo. But when Rikki and Zane break up, they get back together by the 3rd episode and they stay a couple. So they were only like literally broken up for like, not counting like months and stuff, but like counting episodes. They were like broken up if you combine all 3 seasons together for like literally 2 episodes, and they got back together. But then they break up Cleo and Lewis in episode 2, and they don't get back together until episode 25. So I'm like, do you know what that basically tells me? It tells me the difference between Cleo and Lewis relationships compared to Rikki and Emma's. Emma's relationship is a compatibility relationship. She's dating someone that's a damn near same as her. And then we got Rikki, who dates someone who in a way is got some things they're compatible with, and they're complete opposites. They're enemies of lovers. While Cleo and Lewis are still stuck in this best friends to lovers trope. But their friends are literally getting in relationships quicker than them. It's taking them only like weeks and a couple of months. But it's taking them damn near a year to even just officially be allowed to be in a relationship. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, obviously. Because we already know. It's one of those episodes where girls say they don't need Lewis, and then they end up having to need Lewis. Here's the issue. They actually didn't need Lewis. The only reason why they ended up needing him is because Ash decided that he was going to take Cleo and Rikki's advice, which they should have not given him, knowing it was a full moon. But you know what? It's women supporting women. That's what the fuck this is. They both had boyfriends. When Cleo was still friends with Lewis, she wanted to tell him. He found out literally within a few days, like 1 or 2 days later, that she was a mermaid. So it wasn't that long. It wasn't like a whole week. Zane found out Rikki's secret by total inconvenience to herself and her friends. But hell shit, at least her damn boyfriend found out. So it's like Emma is the only one that has not had the chance to have a boyfriend that knows her secret. She couldn't tell Byron, which is why their relationship didn't work out. And I'm pretty sure if she was able to tell Byron and they allowed her to do this in season 1, they probably could have kept Byron around. I wouldn't care for it unless they made something interesting go on, but then again, there it is. But now it's like, okay, Cleo and Rikki both had boyfriends who got to know their secret. It's Emma's turn. Emma should be allowed to have a boyfriend and know her secrets. It's not fair. She tried to be secretive in season 1 and ended up getting her damn heart broken. So I can understand what they were trying to do. They wanted their friend to not continuously be in this box. They wanted her to have a chance to open her heart and start a meaningful relationship with someone she clearly liked. It's just unfortunate that they decided to do this on a day that was not right to give this advice to. They should have just told him that, you know what, you could be bold. Just wait till after tonight and just surprise her tomorrow. Try like a breakfast or something like that. Or like, just, you know, we all 3 could get together and plan something. Matter of fact, they could have asked Lewis, hey, Lewis, Ash really wants to date Emma. You know the secret, Zane know the secret. Don't you think Ash should know the secret? Now, as I'm saying that, somebody's thinking, okay, so shouldn't Charlotte know the secret? Hell no! She's got nothing to do with them. She ain't dating one of them. But it is what it is. They did end up needing Lewis, but it wasn't compared to all the other times they dealt with the full moon. It wasn't as bad. This full moon wasn't like trying to well, it was where Emma was interested in the guy, and it seems like the full moon has to give them that push. It has to make them all droopy to try to get them to be comfortable and relaxed enough to just give it a shot. But also, this full moon was completely harmless. I feel like this full moon was Team Rikki and Cleo helping Emma get a boyfriend who knows the mermaid secret. Like, the full moon was on their side. It was like, yeah, I'm giving this push a go. Like, come on, girl, be bold about it. And I can understand why she doesn't want to tell him, because they are very paranoid at this point. And she's not sure of how Ash will react to it. Because not everybody's going to be okay with this secret. My goodness. My nose itches, my allergies. So, yes, I can understand what they were trying to do. Yes, they did end up needing Lewis. I don't really think it would have been a big deal if Ash found out, considering what happened when he found out in the finale. So, spoiler alert, he was actually fine with it. I would have liked if he had walked in there and saw she was a mermaid. Like, get this shit over with. Like, just get it over with. I don't know why they have the tendency to drag out so much shit. Like, drag out this relationship with Charlotte and Lewis when they have every opportunity to end the relationship. They kept on dragging like Rikki and Emma along in a lot of things that really didn't resonate any storylines with them. Like, they barely had any storyline for themselves. They keep dragging Cleo into this depressing state when they need to get her to have some kind of mental support and shit. Now, look, y'all already caused me to lose respect for Zane in the previous fucking episode. Not the previous episode, the 15th episode. So that ain't coming back anytime soon. So Ash and Lewis are the only ones I'm team for. After episode 15, I could give a fuck less about Zane at this point. So, what else did I want to talk about? Yeah, in my top 10 storylines, which yes, I've deleted, I had mentioned that I would like them to have more full moon episodes, because I said I could have swore it was like we only had like 5 this season 2. Because in season 1, we had one in episode 1, 7, 12, 18, and 26. So in season 1, we had 5. In season 2, we've had one in episode 1, episode 13. Yeah, I'm right about that. And now episode 17. So our next one is episode 21. And the last one is episode 26. So that's 5. So season 1 and season 2 have the same amount of full moon episodes. Except these full episodes seem to be benefiting them. Like, the first one gave them new powers, which actually helped them in their final battle in the finale. Episode 13, that full moon actually was very easy going. They were able to handle that full moon because they decided to face it. With this one, the reason why it had a difference on them compared to the previous one is because they were worried about it instead of just facing the full moon. So they kind of backtracked because they went back into paranoid mode. So now this moon only was trying to help Emma help Ash know what's been going on with her. The next full moon is a moon that turns people into mermaids. Like, I guess what episode 13's full moon was trying to do. And the last full moon episode does a season 1 repeat where it's a full moon that takes away your powers, except that one takes away your powers forever. And apparently only happens every 50 years, which does not make sense because it has been past 50 years. Like, when I think of a full moon that's supposed to come every 50 years, if the first full moon came out in 1957, that moon, which is when Gracie gave her powers up, that was a year apparently, if you look it up on Wiki. I think it said in 1957. And this episode had came out in 2008. That's not 50 years. That's 51 years. That moon is a year late. That moon should have showed up in season 1, not 2. Matter of fact, even before season 1. Before the girls even became mermaids. Like, it should have been a previous full moon that would have happened. So I'm like confused as to why they saying it's the moon of every 50 years. Because if that's the case, what would be the reason for it to come back? Who does it benefit now? Because there's no one to actually give their powers up that's needed to lose their powers. I just think that moon is a convenient type moon. It's just something that happens when all the planets come align together. But then again, that same shit happens with any other type of like lunar or solar eclipse. Like, don't sometimes with like the lunar eclipse when the moon covers the earth, don't the planets actually kind of somewhat align there? I don't know. But it's like, I guess it depends. This moon is probably not every 50 years. Either that or the actual year that Gracie gave her powers up was incorrect. It's actually supposed to be 1958. Because if the math is done, it would be 51 if we going by that episode. And that episode came out in 2008. So for them to say it's been 50 years, they filmed this motherfucker in 2007. That would be the only reason for this to make any kind of sense. But that's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you guys in the next video. I know I'm late. I'm off today. You will be getting your 6 videos. Do not worry. And I also said we are finishing out season 2 this week. I made a community post. It should have posted it. You're getting the last 4 of season 2 tomorrow, which is episode 23, 24, and 25, and 26 come out Thursday. So we're only doing episode 17 through 22. But like I said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day. And if no one told you this today, I'm telling you, I love you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.